actions has caused further tensions between China and Western countries, where China is not willing to appreciate their yuan. By keeping the yuan artificially low against the US dollar, it results in a trade imbalance in the United States. China goods are kept artificially low in the values. The US is hence forced to devalue their currency to not be in an economic disadvantage. This is true as many countries have also joined in the race to the bottom.
Now, not all hope is lost, as finance ministers do realize that this war is not going to benefit anyone in the long run, as massive devaluation would mean the loss in confidence in international investments, unstable exchange rates, and as a result, the slow pace of global economic recovery. Furthermore, other consequences like the loss of bilateral trade and China refusing to work with the US in containing Iran and North Korea due to the currency pressures is at stake here. Thus, some are calling for a new international agreement to stabilize the current round of depreciation. However, as previous efforts have shown, this is not going to be easy. We will thus have to wait and see how things progress. As the phrase goes, it's easier to declare a war than ending it.
This global currency war is caused by countries devaluing their currency. Countries, however, are not solving their own problems, but exporting their problems to other countries. As you can see here, devaluation causes the price of exports to drop and increase the imports revenue. Import prices become relatively higher and causes a fall in import expenditure, correcting the balance of payment deficit. Here we can say a country is devaluing its currency and gains at the expense of its trading partners. The official start of the global currency war was announced by Brazil, where 3 countries were targeted, namely US, Europe, and Japan. They were accused for purposely devaluing their currency to recover from the recent global recession. These countries have used expansionary monetary policy to slash interest rates near zero and printing money to affect this via money supply, devaluing their currency. On the other hand, by printing money, the money supply is rapidly increased, resulting in a liquidity trap. This is shown by this graph here. Okay, this is the liquidity trap. When money supply increases past this point, the interest rate does not drop further. To avoid this liquidity trap, America has decided to switch to quantitative easing, which is a monetary policy used by central banks to increase money supply by increasing excess reserves in the banking system, generally through buying government bonds to stabilize or to raise their price and thereby lowering long-term interest rates. This policy is used when the normal methods like this to control money supply are no longer effective. In addition, the US is in a huge debt, as they have been borrowing money from all over the world to sustain themselves as a superpower economy, and they are using this policy to kill the rate. China is purposely letting yuan to appreciate slowly, using yuan to set an exchange rate rather than other countries. China also uses capital controls, limiting the amount of foreign capitals coming into the country. By restricting the yuan demand, the currency is kept artificially low, so yuan is actually now very cheap. This makes China imports more expensive, decreasing the foreign demand. And the exports cheaper than other countries. the domestic demand. This in which will help to pull up the China economy. In short, the main problem is the conflicting macroeconomic goals against each countries as they try to solve their own problems first before caring about their self-interest first. Other countries now have a stronger dollar. Firms can import primary goods at a lower price, allowing firms to decrease the cost of production. So other countries, their cost of production decreases. This results in a downward shift in the AS curve, aggregate supply. It shifts downwards. This results in a downward shift in the supply curve, decreasing the production cost, thereby decreasing the market price of the good, as you can see from the price here. Price 1 dropped to price 2. However, if the goods are secondary or tertiary, like watches, the consumers will tend to buy foreign products, disadvantaging the local firms. Even though they may have a cheaper cost of production, the labor price, the price of labor in the country is still very high. This causes the AS curve to move upwards as the price increases. So now the AS curve moves back up. And the AD curve decreases. The AD curve will drop due to the fall in the consumptions, decreasing the general price level as a whole. This might not be a big problem in the short run, but in the long run, foreign companies will dominate the industries. This causes money outflow from the country's economy, leading to a trade deficit. And a fall in the overall balance of payment accounts. As the products of overseas goods are cheaper, country people will purchase foreign goods rather than local ones. See, if there's a foreign good and it's very cheap, it will be preferred compared to local goods and it's expensive. So the local firms will lose its competitiveness compared to other firms. So they'll lose out to foreign firms. Unable to sustain their business, they will have to retrench workers. Increasing one's country's unemployment rate due to cyclical unemployment. Countries that are heavily dependent on international trade are more prone to such unemployment. Countries like Singapore and Korea. To countries that do not devalue their countries, their imports will be way cheaper than their export. To countries who do not devalue their currency, they will experience a decreased cost of living. Why is this so? This is as okay, boss. To countries who do not devalue their currencies, their imports will be cheaper than their exports. They will switch to import goods and not use export goods. Domestic goods, I mean. This in which will lower the cost of living of the country, as the import goods are way cheaper than the domestic goods. Okay? These countries who are not devaluing their currencies will also have an influx of foreign investors. Which will cause a speculative bubble which will affect the country when the speculative bubble bursts. So these foreign investors will start investing into these countries. Okay, I'll give an example. Example will be housings. Okay, foreign investors, for example, foreign people they come in, they invest, they buy houses. Okay, then the people of the country do not have enough houses to live in. They cannot buy their houses. When these foreign people so-called steal the buying chance of these mainland people, this will cause the people in the mainland to be not happy with the foreign people, and they will start having social problems, social tensions. Another problem will be political impact, where the currency war strains international ties. Wherever I draw ties, strain. For example, Singapore ties with US. If US keeps devaluing their currency and Singapore do not keep up by devaluing their currency as well, Singapore will be at a losing end. And US will gain at the expense of Singapore. So this will cause some strain within the relationship between these two countries. Yeah. And US, who gets blamed for this global currency war, okay, is just blatantly throwing the blame to other countries like Singapore, Japan, such that they will not be at fault. This also strains the international ties.